In this video, I'm going to cover 10 items that every prepper and every homesteader should have when prepping for SHTF. Now, when it comes to prepping and survival, there are many items that you'll need to have a good stockpile of. I want to make sure you guys are disaster ready. Now, as you know, there are way more than 10 items that you'll need for SHTF or any type of without rule of law situation. Now, these are just my top 10 items that aren't food, water, or self-defense tools. Now, I'm making this video to help you get prepared when SHTF begins. Now, believe it or not, there are many people who are unprepared, not just for SHTF, but unprepared for even a minor event. So preparedness is very important. So let's help those folks out and leave some comments down below of some of your favorite SHTF items to stockpile. So it's all about learning and helping others here at All Day Everyday Preparedness. Now, before we begin, you can help out this channel by hitting the like button, subscribing right now. Also, don't forget to hit the bell icon to see more content about SHTF and prepping. All right, number one is toilet paper. Now, we all saw the toilet paper shortage of 2020, and it was bad, guys. I know some real cases of people who did not have access to toilet paper during that time. So now that it's back in stock and it's relatively available pretty much everywhere, now is the time to stock up on toilet paper. And using the bathroom is a normal daily function. So just because it's SHTF, that's not going to stop. You're still going to need to use the bathroom and take care of yourself. So you want that experience to be as normal and as comfortable as possible, even if it's during an SHTF event or a without rule of law situation. And just a quick tip, don't go for the cheap toilet paper either. You want to go with a name brand. There's a reason behind name brands, especially when it comes to toilet paper. So don't skimp on the cheap toilet paper. Get the expensive kind or the more expensive kind. You want something that's strong, soft, and also durable. So again, guys, stock up on your toilet paper. Moving on to number two is going to be fire starters. Now, during SHTF, if there's no electricity, you will more than likely need fire to survive. You're going to need your fire for cooking, boiling water for hygiene and bathing, and for washing any dishes or clothing. Another reason you may need fire is to keep mosquitoes and predators away if you happen to be living outside. Now, keep in mind, this is an SHTF event, so in the worst case scenario, you may not be able to live inside your home, and that fire is going to be a big necessity to your survival. Now, you can go with an actual fire starter, which is fine, but during a survival scenario, you want to make your life as easy as possible. So I would have the fire starter as a backup, but go with matches and lighters for quick, easy fire starting. Now, both matches and lighters are available in bulk packs, so you can pick up some of these the next time you're at the grocery store. Just make sure to store these away from any heat or moisture, and you should be just fine until you actually need to use them. All right, number three is duct tape. Now, duct tape has so many uses for everyday household use and for SHTF use. I mean, basically anything that breaks can be held together with the right amount of duct tape. You know, it can be used to patch holes in tents, in your clothing, or even in your bug out bag. Now, if you did have to bug out and you're going to be walking miles and miles every day, your shoes or your boots may wear out. A simple fix would be to wrap it with some duct tape. So you're getting the idea. If your bug out bag started having a hole in the bottom, you could wrap it with duct tape. Pretty much anything that you need to secure, you can do it with duct tape. Now, it can also be used in first aid applications when you need to seal a wound or a cut and you don't have anything else available, such as bandages or any other first aid item. Duct tape is an essential tool for preppers, so make sure you stock up on it next time that you go shopping. Coming in at number four is going to be batteries. So basically any item that you rely on that needs batteries is eventually going to stop working. The batteries will eventually die. So whether it's going to be your flashlights, your radios, your watches, your lanterns, whatever it may be that needs batteries that you're going to need and rely on, you want to purchase some backup batteries for those devices. Also, don't forget about batteries for your weapon sight and your optics. So having your rifle sight up and running is going to be key during SHTF. You need to be able to provide the proper security for yourself and your family. But if you don't have the optics and the batteries dead, that's going to be a problem. So make sure you don't forget those as well. You also maybe want to add a solar battery charger so you can charge all your regular batteries as well. So again, batteries and a way to charge them is going to be key during SHTF or any type of disaster preparedness event. Number 5 is bleach. And yes, the household chemical bleach is going to be so important during SHTF. Now, cleanliness, disinfecting, and combating disease is going to be key if there's no electricity and no running water. Now, bleach can be used to purify water as well. Now, according to the EPA, you add 2 drops of bleach for every quart of water, but be sure to use the non-scented bleach when using it for purifying water. Now, if you're talking about just cleaning surfaces, disinfecting, and trying to combat disease, the scented bleach will be fine. But if you're talking specifically for water purification, you need to go with the unscented bleach. And I'm going to leave the link in the description to that EPA article that shows you exactly how many drops of bleach you need per measurement of water. So again, bleach is key for so many reasons during SHTF. Okay, number 6 is going to be tarps. And tarps are so versatile and they have so many uses. That's why you're going to need this item when SHTF begins. So let's say if your roof develops a huge leak during the dead of winter, you can simply patch it with a tarp. Now, tarps can make great tents or lean-to shelters as well. And tarps can provide rain and water protection for any items that you need that need water protection. And you can even make a poncho or raincoat for yourself out of one if you happen to live outside. Again, a worst case scenario and you're having to live outside, you can use that tarp as a poncho, a tent, or a lean-to or a raincoat if you have to be outside for any extended period of time. Now, tarps can also be used to haul things around too. Just make sure that if you're going to purchase a tarp, go for the more thick, durable tarp instead of the thin, cheap ones that are available at many dollar stores and places like that. You want something that you can rely on and something that's going to hold up during SHTF. So make sure that you add tarps to your go-to items to prep for SHTF. Number 7 is going to be candles. Now, candles are another item that has many different uses, especially during a preparedness event or any type of SHTF disaster. Now, as you know, you can use candles for lighting and being able to see in the dark when the power is out. Now, candles also can provide a small amount of emergency heat, depending on the size of the room that you're trying to heat and the outside temperature. So let's say during winter, if you have a larger family, or let's just say it's 2 or 3 people, everyone can huddle in your smallest room, light some candles, close the door, and the room temperature will rise significantly. Now, candles can also be used for light cooking, such as brewing tea or similar things like that. And candles, as you know, are relatively cheap, but make sure that you don't go too cheap when it comes to your candles, because many of the cheap glass candles, they can bust and burst when they get extremely hot. So it's probably safer to buy the unjarred candles and just place them in candle holders. So again, you want to add candles to your emergency prep list for SHTF right now. All right, number 8 is going to be seeds. Now, as you know, during SHTF, there's going to be no stores open and operating. That means there's no grocery stores, there's no meats, there's no vegetables, there's no nothing. So society has completely broken down, and now you find yourself in a world without rule of law. Now, growing your own food is going to be necessary for your own survival. Now, seeds are still relatively cheap right now, so stock up on as much of those as you can. Now, just like most preppers rotate their food stock, you can also rotate your seeds as well. But if possible, try to go for a non-GMO option just because it's healthier for you in the long run. But again, during SHTF, it's probably really not going to matter. Just getting the calories and nutrition that you need is going to be the most important thing. So as long as you're able to grow some food, that's really all that matters. Also, seeds and the food that comes from them will be great barter items. So stock up on your seeds, guys, today. Okay, number 9 is going to be cold weather gear. Now, depending on where you live, you're going to need a good ample supply of cold weather gear. And I'm talking about your hats, your gloves, your heavy winter coats, and your boots. Now, especially if you're going to be dealing with heavy snow where you live and brutal cold winds, you're going to need some cold weather gear. Now, as we all know, the weather is changing from season to season and from location to location. In some places, it's more mild. Other places, they get the most snow and ice they've ever seen before. The last thing you want to do, guys, is be caught outside in inclement weather and not have on the proper gear and the proper clothing. So I would invest in some nice, warm winter clothing. You need a winter coat. You may need some insulated coveralls, some heavy-duty cold weather gloves, and a nice pair of insulated winter boots. And you may want to throw in a scarf or something like that to help keep the cold air off your neck and your face. But again, cold weather gear is going to be important, guys, especially if you're forced from your home for whatever reason and you find yourself having to live outside in the elements. So get your cold weather gear stocked up today. Okay, number 10 is first aid. So when SHTF begins and society is broken down, there isn't going to be an emergency room or an urgent care center that you can go to. You see, you're going to be the first responder. You'll be the nurse, you'll be the doctor, or at least your family may have to be that for you. So you and your family are going to have a basic first aid kit and a basic knowledge about first aid. Now you can supplement your first aid kit with additional bandages and gauze pads, ointments, saline solutions, disinfectants, whatever you feel you may need. Now you also may want to purchase some books and reading material on first aid as well. That way, if you have a medical crisis, you can refer to those reading materials and those books for guidance. You also may want to go and take a first aid class and learn basic CPR if you haven't already done that. Now, normally these classes are available in most major cities and local towns, and they're offered by the Red Cross. And they're not too expensive either for what you're getting learning basic CPR. Another good source is just to ask someone that you know who is a doctor, nurse, or paramedic, someone in the medical field. You can just simply ask them what would happen in this situation, or what would I need to do in this situation. So if you pair all those things together, at least you can be confident enough going forward if you find yourself in a medical crisis during SHTF. So as you can see, guys, prepping for SHTF can be quite a task, but as long as you're moving forward with your preps and your planning, that's okay. You just don't want to be stagnant and not doing anything to prepare. Now, I hope that this video was helpful to you all. Now, if you want to learn more about prepping, more specifically my top 7 items for long-term food storage, then check out this video right there. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. It helps my content reach more viewers, and I appreciate making videos for you guys. But thank you all for watching. Continue to prepare, and as always, be blessed.